So the Hobbits, Battle of the Five Armies. Oh my god, it was amazing.
Nah, it wasn't amazing.
I really liked it.
It was very
so
good.
nice.
I really
Very
liked
good
it.
film. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't film of the year.
Philistines. Any film of
What I
Philistines.
really liked about it is the way they distinguished the battle style of the 5 different armies. So each army had its own very distinct, very clear battle style. The dwarves reminded me very much of Romans.
Their fighting style.
Did you not see the orcs reminded you of the Romans?
The orc
The
armor,
orcs.
the orc armor reminded me of more of Romans, but the
Especially-
dwarf fighting style
yeah.
reminded me more of Romans.
Just because the orcs have that helmet with like the cheek guards and the giant sort of what looks like a headdress thing above it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like Roman centurions and stuff.
Yeah, but the dwarves fought much more like Romans.
They did. They had that shield wall thing.
They were very.
There's a really awesome.
There's a really awesome
the
scene.
elves vault over like the front line of dwarves. Not a spoiler. This is spoiler free. But it is a really awesome. And it starts.
It just looks so good.
It kicks off the battle and it's like bang, cool vaulting dwarves. And this is what you're getting for the next 2 hours, folks.
Yeah. the dwarves and the elves as well are like completely different in the way that they fight. Dwarves are very brutal, but also very organized at the same time, and they fight more as a unit.
You almost even like when you see the establishing shots, the dwarves were in ranks. Always. The elves were much more fluid.
Yeah, the elves reminded me of samurais. They were very elegant, they were very graceful, they kind of turned the fighting into a bit of an art form.
They're not
Plus they used a long big sword, long big two-handed sword, they reminded me very much of a katana.
Yeah. The elves are more like a sort of nature-esque sort of feel to them. Like
they've always had
that.
It's like that's a very elven token
thing. They're always
Peter Jackson's very good at doing that.
They always like to be one with the
it's like
force, but it's not.
Yeah, you know how like
Star Wars.
it's like the prologue to the Fellowship of the Ring where you see the elves attacking the orc army. It's almost like we get like a full version of an elven battle doing that.
Yeah,
it's quite cool to see. I did like that.
And then you've also got the orcs who are kind of like the barbarian horde, just better armoured. They're brutal, they have no organisation, they just go for it.
If you're wondering why we're only talking about the battle so far, it's because pretty much 90% of the movie is, as the title suggests, a big battle.
It is,
This is very much the third part of a movie. It doesn't follow the 3-act structure. It's the big battle at the end of the movie.
It is the third
stretched. It's the third act.
Yeah.
Whereas the first two, I feel, held up as movies in their own right. This one doesn't, but does serve as a good payoff to the first two.
It does, that's like the build-up that it's been leading to almost.
Like the first two, you can kind of watch either one without having seen the other, and you can still kind of get an idea of what's happening, and you can get into it, and you can still enjoy it. You cannot watch the third one having not seen the other two. It relies really heavily on the other two.
Also, I was just gonna say how, starting watching this, like, it starts out with how the second one ended. I'll not really say that, but it starts with the second one ended, and I was like, oh, yeah, we were there. Oh, what? Straight into the
it's no messing around. It's not trying to give you a backstory of what's happened. It's expecting you to know.
If you've seen the second one, you will completely get that. But it literally just opens and it's boom, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, good.
I know where we are.
I know. And you're like, I remember where we were. It's been a year.
Yeah.
But I do like that because the first two they flirt between two storylines. There's very much Gandalf does Sauron. The dwarves go do their quest, and it's flirting between the two, and then it randomly goes off to Radagast and stuff. And I didn't mind it, but it was kind of annoying because it sort of needed to focus on a central storyline. This one very much goes bang, tie up loose end, bang, tie up loose end, bang. 2 hours to deal with the movie at hand, what we're doing in this instance, and it's good because it was one thing I didn't like about the first two is how they just kind of waffled at times. This one's very much to the point.
You were kind of saying earlier on, the only issue with the battle is that it's at the start of the battle it's very CGI heavy.
Yeah, the way I said it, I feel the battle starts out, you get the elves vaulting dwarves, it's really cool, and then it just for 20 minutes straight plays like a video game.
It does.
And it just takes you straight out the movie.
Yeah, what
you don't get engaged. Like, it definitely finds its feet very well with. There's a certain like introduction of when the main characters get into the thick of it, and it becomes more almost smaller scale, more like personal moments of fighting kind of thing. Like when we see Bard in the dwarves fight the Thorin and stuff, it's much better when it gets
it's so much better. And the fighting then is so brutal as well.
Genuine.
It's like there were times where I thought like I was gonna get hit or something. There were times where you did flinch.
No, the CGI was something I didn't like because it's the one thing that I love about the Lord of the Rings movies. Is they have these massive fight sequences with loads of people.
Totally engaging.
Yeah, they have like a load of people just bashing each other.
The Lord of the Rings films are much older. They're before the days of CGI
even like in Return of the King when the Rohirrim like smash into the orc ranks at Minas Tirith, like even though most of that's probably CGI when you're like getting these establishing shots, you feel very much in the ranks. Like even just the touches. You go like how it goes to the orc ranks and it shows them fire arrows and like line up spears and just do absolutely jack squat.
Yeah.
It brings you into it. This one didn't have that sense until it found its feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely does get there, and with the exception of some Legolas moments, it definitely looks great. Like Legolas, it's almost obligatory. Legolas, screw physics. He just has to have a moment like that at some point. Richard Armitage does Thorin very well.
He does.
He does get the kind of Tolkien-esque falling for the love of gold. Does get that in very well. There's a scene Thorin and Bard kind of exchange through the Hold Wall.
Yes.
Excellent scene.
It's such a good
scene. In terms of like character, it is the best scene in the movie.
It's like
Luke Evans is a great actor.
He is.
And as well, Aesog got a big kind of. I feel like they put much more effort into him in this film. And I feel Manu Bennett pulled him off quite well. Manu Bennett did a good job.
I feel like anyone could have done it.
But it was still pulled off quite well, and he looked a lot nicer in this film.
CGI
Not nicer,
was better.
as in he looked like a nicer person.
As in he actually looks
nicer,
like a worse person.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel they did a much better job with this film than the previous two. But yeah, definitely advise going to see the film.
No.
It's a massive battle action fest.
But it does.
So it might not be your thing, but,
but
Peter Jackson is the king of massive battle action fests.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Like no one does it like he does.
But yeah.
It's not all like a massive battle. The entire film. There's some points where you have like certain.
Yeah, like with Thorin, very good. Bilbo very much takes a back seat actually.
He does.
Yeah,
he's not so prominent.
Not as prominent.
And I still
much more about Thorin than Bilbo.
Much more, definitely. I feel he was probably the main character.
Yeah.
Also, I still can't forgive the movie for how little Bjorn was in it. I think the
one scene was great.
It was a great shot.
I want to see more.
One shot.
That's like
one image.
Yeah.
That was his glorious return.
I wanted to see him.
It's
in action.
To be fair, the fault there lies with Desolation of Smaug. Because it didn't set his character up enough for any payoff to feel like anything.
Yeah, you didn't really feel like you needed him in the other film.
Yeah. But he should have been in the other film.
You didn't totally expect him to return.
No.
The way that they prepared him.
And it's a minor gripe as someone who liked the book, but I did want more Bjorn.
I did.
As someone who hasn't read the book, I now want to.
Genuinely need to read the book. It's great.
I wanted to see. That's the one thing I wanted to see, but. I was disappointed that they didn't show enough of Bjorn. However, I think they made up for it with the Saruman and the Lord Elrond fight. That was the one for me. I like that scene is just the one I'm going to take away from that film, as well as the entire battle thing, which was like the entire film. So anyway, that fight scene was just amazing.
Anyway, Battle of the Five Armies. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Let us know what you thought in the comments.
Yes, please.
Please feel free to like, subscribe, and enjoy your lives, guys.
Adios.
Till next time.